The plan for today is to start on the bathroom, and I think I might have already messed up a little bit. Now, in a previous video, you might remember me saying that wherever you have a stud wall, you need to have it landing on a double joist. And the reason for this is a stud wall actually weighs quite a lot. Now, you might be thinking, well, there's not many bits of 4x2, so surely that's actually not that heavy. Well, it's not just that, because what goes on the stud wall is plasterboard. And then with regards to the internal wall in the bathroom, you're going to have tile backer board, adhesive, tiles, and porcelain tiles. They weigh a lot, but if you get into the whole world of marble tiles, then that weighs even more. I might have messed up because, as you can see, I've got a double joist where the internal stud wall is for the bathroom. There is also another internal stud wall which runs alongside where the bath and the shower is. And if you're new to the channel, I am building a lowered into the ground bath, which is also going to act as a shower. And the kind of idea around this is I want it to look like you're kind of stepping down into a lowered shower area and then somehow make it have a tap and a plug, and then it becomes a bath. Now, the other day I said that I wanted to put a swimming pool light within that bath area, so once it's all filled with water, the water will then glow. And I've never actually seen this in a normal house, so I think it's going to look amazing when it's done. I also did mention that I wanted to add jets and things like that, and after doing some more research and listening to your lot's feedback, that is not only quite complicated, but it is also quite stupid, because it's going to be a bath and not a hot tub. And any of these hot tub baths that you can actually buy get disgusting, because all of those jets, all of that water, there is no easy way to clean them. So it's just not worth it at all. So I've decided I'm not going to do any of the jets, but I am still planning to do the underwater light and this whole lowered bath idea. The issue is that I've got a single joist where this internal wall is, and therefore I don't know if it's really strong enough to support a wall that is then covered in tiles. It might be. I'm going to call someone this evening to chat about it a bit more, and fingers crossed I don't need to take the joist out and add a double joist. As you can see, I've fixed all of the studs. You do this by just adding a couple of screws at the top and the bottom. It's super straightforward. Noggins go in between the two, and that basically makes the entire stud wall now super solid. I've seen a few people saying, Chris, why do you have two doors going into the bathroom? And I can understand where the confusion's coming from. It is not two doors. It is one door next to the window to go into the bathroom, and then the other opening is the boiler room and where all of that stuff is going to be going, because that is a key thing you've got to remember, is boilers, water heaters, whatever. All of that stuff takes up space, and I know examples of people who have messed up projects because it's been an afterthought. And when you're viewing places, you will see it and you'll go, wait, why is this boiler just randomly in the corner of this room? Like in the London project, boiler was just chucked in the corner of a bedroom, fully exposed. It looked really ugly. And then also there's quite a bit of noise that comes from it, and that's something you've got to consider as well. For those of you who don't know, the stages when doing a bathroom renovation goes as follows. You've got to strip it back to the bricks, or in this case, you've got all of the timber work done. You've got all of the stud walls, and for this lowered bath thing, I've got to get all of that stuff sorted. The next stage is really all of the plumbing. And when it comes to plumbing, you can do quick fit stuff, which is super simple to use, or you can use copper piping, which involves soldering and stuff, which is more expensive, but it is better in my opinion. It will last a lot longer. But the quick fit stuff you can get is great. Now, obviously, you need to get all of that stuff done before you put all the floor down, because it would just be extremely difficult to run pipes and all of that stuff without it. Now, I actually need to get on and order this boiler and get a delivery for all of the copper pipe and all that stuff. Do I actually want to do copper pipe? I don't know. We'll see. Quick fit stuff is way quicker and easier to use, so I might just do that, but I'm still yet to decide. But you need to get all of that stuff done before you do any tiling or any of that stuff, because obviously if you want water going to a toilet, a shower, a bath, to radiators, underfloor heating, the water obviously has to get there. Now, when it comes to your radiators, you can just get electric radiators, and the same goes for underfloor heating. And I think I will actually spend a bit more money and get underfloor heating in the bathroom, because I always think, nah, what's the point? But when you have it, you do feel rich, because it is so nice. And it also has a second benefit. That is, if there is water on the floor, it dries super quickly, because obviously there's the heating element below the tiles. And it's actually surprising how energy efficient it is and cheap it is to install. It always does shock me. I mean, if you're getting someone in to do it all for you, yeah, it's going to cost you a few quid, because you got to pay for that person's mortgage, their holiday house in Marbella, their E63 AMG, and their family. And yes, that is a real example of a plumber that I know. I will never forget working on the London project, and I was covered in insulation. And as I was walking back to my house, a neighbour who lived across the road, who I hadn't actually met yet, spoke to me in a very abrupt, rude way. And to kind of paint a picture of what this person was like, just think of your typical old money, bought a house in Chelsea in the 1950s, has worked in finance for 30 years, and then combine that with a signet ring and a Submariner, and that is a pretty good description of what he was like. And what was quite entertaining is he was asking what works were being done to the house. So I was answering them because obviously it's my house, I'm doing all of the work, I know it all, but he was thinking that I am a labourer. And then he asked what the owners do for a living, and I say, oh, well, I work in finance, but I also have businesses outside of my day job. And watching this person's brain trying to compute that, and the fact for the last 5 minutes he's basically been talking down to me, this person judged a book by its cover, saw me in work clothes, and therefore made an assumption that, oh, there's no way that this person could ever be living in this house. And that is the one thing that I have never done, is judged a book by its cover, because, I mean, I know a Travis Perkins delivery driver who has a house in St. George's Hill. If you don't know what St. George's Hill is, just look it up on Google Earth and look at the for sale prices. And this person lives in one of those houses, made a load of money developing, but actually really enjoys being a delivery driver. I can't comprehend that, but for him, he loves the work. He's a multi-millionaire, but he enjoys being a Travis Perkins delivery driver. And that is why you can just never judge a book by its cover, never look down on anybody or anything, because you have absolutely no idea nowadays. And as I was saying with my mate who's a plumber, he makes way more money than most people who work in an investment bank. And I think part of it is the fact that he dropped out of school at 16. And therefore, what age do most people get out of university? It's like 23, 24. He's already been working for 8 years. Therefore, he could buy a house way before everybody else and save on rent because he now owns his own home. There is a really interesting study that compares the normal academic progression to become a doctor in comparison to a bricklayer. And I think the doctor only earns more than the bricklayer when the doctor turns like 33 years old, in comparison to a bricklayer who's been earning from, say, 16. And at that point of turning 30, they've probably already got 1-2 houses. Then if they started off as an apprentice bricklayer, the natural progression for most people in trades is they go, do you know what, I can just do this on my own. I have a direct impact on my salary instead of just getting paid a fixed amount. Yes, you've got to incur a risk, you've got to buy your own van, you've got to take initiative, which a lot of people choose not to do, and you will have had to put away enough money so you can sustain a bad couple months that potentially you might have when starting said business. You see, I can easily show you how to build a tiny house. I can tell you, oh, I'm going for debt-free living and all of that stuff. But the reality of the situation is that is simply the tip of the iceberg. Knowing how to put together a stud wall, yeah, that's important and it's great to know. And for some of you, about 20% of you will love your day job. And I am so happy you have found something that you enjoy to create a life from. But I talk for the 80% of people, the people in that study of 1 billion people who look at their day job for no other aspect but money. That is 80% of people. And I always refer to my real life experience. I only know a couple of people who have day jobs that they actually enjoy and they would do it for no money. The majority despise their day jobs, they despise their colleagues, and they have financial stress. And the whole purpose of this YouTube channel is to prove to you a couple of things. One is to just send it and see what happens, because that is basically my entire life plan, is to just attempt things, fail, and figure out the next step. Most people know the story of Lamborghini, how it started off as a tractor company, then it became a supercar company. Well, what a lot of people don't know is Samsung used to be a grocery store. IKEA used to be a pen company. LG used to be a face cream. Post-it note, you know, the sticky piece of paper, the guy who created that got told it was useless for years, and then it eventually became 3M's largest selling product. The thing that I will always repeat to you is how you start something is not how it ends. As I said in newsletter number 5, that side hustle, it works. I did it while sat at my day job. It has 0 startup cost. And you will never make less than £1,000 doing it. This is no get-rich-quick scheme. This is a genuine business that I have done for the last 10 years. And now I am sharing with you every single detail of my world. And it doesn't matter what situation you're in right now, you can change it around this instant. You just have to start. Google Have Some Vision Substack, or click the link in the description and sign up now. Trust me, you will not regret it. This isn't some BS. I am genuinely sharing with you how I managed to escape a day job that I despised and now I am living my dream life. And actually that's just reminded me of this weird saying, which is the graveyard has the highest price per square meter because of all of the wasted potential, all of the dreams that were never actioned, the ideas that because of a fictional fear was never carried out, that idea never got to see the light of day, and that person potentially passed away with a what if. And that is my biggest fear, is not only for myself but also for you, that because of some sort of negative programming, be it people around you, people in your personal life or colleagues or whatever, is preventing you from following your dream. And I've heard it a billion times. Money's not going to buy you happiness, Chris. Oh, live while you're young, all of that stuff. Well, the fact of the matter is I made some time sacrifices. Instead of going to the pub twice a week, every week for the last 10 years, instead I went twice a year. You might be thinking, as some people I used to hang around with said to me, that Chris, you're boring, you should have a laugh. Well, it's payback time now, and if tomorrow I want to go to Chamonix, book a chalet for a month, I can do it. My closest friends who also set goals and have now achieved them, they can all join me. But the people who told me that I was being boring and that I'm missing out on going to the pub, well, now they're missing out. So seriously, whatever it is you have going on in your life, just keep going, keep pushing forwards. It doesn't matter if you've had certain setbacks, you just have to keep on walking forwards. You will look back and be like, how have I managed to survive XYZ situation and get to this point? Like the video if you enjoyed it, subscribe if you're new, and click the link in the description. Subscribe and start now, and as always, I will see you tomorrow.